Good morning, everyone. You get some charts up here. You know, so it's been a choppy week or so, and I don't think it's going to stop. We shall see. We got this election coming. Was it 8 days, 9 days? And it's the whole surprise over the last, I don't know, several weeks was the movement in interest rates up. A significant move. After coming down, 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 and we look at the 13 week having made this big move, and finally after all year, the anticipation of the Fed's going to cut, the Fed's going to cut. Going back a little history, remember it was going to be 6 times and 3 times and 2 times. Oh my God, maybe there'll be no times. Then the 13 weeks started plummeting. We got the half. Now they're saying a quarter. I don't know. The message of the bond market might be saying, you know what? All this money that you spent, the country's got problems. Uh, maybe, problems, kind of problems. Nuts in the White House, in my opinion, anyway. But look, the money that they all spent, they're all guilty. The money that they all spent, how much more can this go on before something really breaks? I think it is already broken, but this may be the bond market's message. That pushing interest rates up like this, um, telling them that maybe they can't. So, look, I don't think anything really of significance is going to happen. I mean, at the end of the week, we got some economic reports, and of course, there's a whole bunch of earnings reports from the Magnificent Seven or Five and whoever else is coming out. So there are going to be these influences throughout the week that'll push the markets around. But um, you know, maybe there'll be some surprises as far as earnings go, and of course, the numbers. So let's take a look at the markets. But the bond markets move is something that cannot be ignored. Um, you can see how that 10-year, we look at interest rates, but you see the bond market itself plummeting. And today, as it comes down towards some support, there's finding a few buyers here as things get extended, maybe a little breakdown failure. Maybe enough's enough for now. See the weekly chart, it's on the support here. It's a 10-year. And here's the 30-year, with right down on top of that pivot, and it popped down through it. So looks like there's going to be some stabilization, at least in the interest rates. That could be one thing that gives the market a little breathing room if it's going to go up, that it would be able to do that. We'll see. Futures, you can see the green here, but inside day, more back and forth, which has been going on for a couple of weeks. You can see the weekly bar there, you know, just stalled. Now, of course, Magnificent Seven's coming out. Is this, going to pop up and head up there? I think that's what we need to look for to see, does this actually get through these highs? Whatever's going to go on with the election thing, if this clears these highs and starts moving up into this little void, that we have to go with. Um, the Dow is on support. Dow futures are on support, so they're stabilizing here, rising 20. So technically, there is definitely a reason for certain markets to at least begin to take hold here. And so see what kind of a turn we can get. The Russell is on some support, and with interest rates backing off a little bit, this could certainly pop up a little. And you see what happened on Friday. Of course, everybody saw what happened on Friday. There was this strength, and then all of a sudden, interest rates popped up again, and everybody hit the bid, which left a whole lot of topping tail bars. We'll take a look at. So one of the thoughts this weekend, as we go and we do the advisory letter and other letters, is like, okay, what are the markets doing? What are the setups here? And we go through, step by step as far as, okay, what's the trend? Trend is up. What's the trend in multiple time frames? Trend is up. Of course, depending on the markets that you look at. Um, Buy setup. Historically, buy setup like this, a failure, if it breaks these lows, it's going to go down here. Now, things are up a little bit, so it's not breaking these lows right now. So we're basically still in a holding pattern here. But this rejection is something that we're going to see if there's follow through or not. So, again, looking through it, as everything that we do look through, we're still at a point as to not really certain whether the trend will continue higher, right? Until it violates the trend, we assume it will, and that there can be, red bars ignored or topping tails that may not follow through. And so as we look at the cues and where they're at, it's gapping near the top of that topping tail bar. You see the cursor up there. So that's a good start to the day. And so we'll see as it gaps up there and reaches the resistance. You can see the 65-minute chart. Can it hold on to that gain? Is it an inside day? Well, we wait for more information, And if it does hold up here, this doesn't follow through, that will add a little bit more confidence to no follow through, breakout, go higher. That's what we don't know just yet. So with individual stocks that could look better than others, we'll go there. The transports are on support. So looking through different markets, we have different markets on support, the Dow, transports, the Russell, where they could be making turns. And they started to make the turn, as you can see here, and it got rejected on Friday and came back down. Okay, well, sometimes this is just part of a bottoming process. And if we could get a green bar today, that would increase the confidence that this could go up. Pretty straightforward. Regional banks, not looking so healthy there. Where they gapping up to. And so we see a big, nasty red bar like that, and it gaps up days. If it was gapping up here, it'd be like, okay, all right, that's an amazing start to a big red bar like that. And so it's in the lower half, and so it's something we'll keep an eye on. Simple here, XLF, which was showing strength. So financials took a bit of a hit on Friday. So that's not a positive, no doubt. Semiconductors, which got beat up, they gave it back, and they're gapping up here today. So we're getting a lot of gaps in inside bars. So just because it's gapping up, it's like, okay, that's a positive if you're bullish. If you're bearish and short over the weekend, you're not feeling too good about this, of course. So we'll see how that goes. Let me take a look at SPX before, it's still early. Let's just, as I always do, see where the gap is so we can go to SPX. Above the 50% mark. What's significant about that? It's just a kind of ballpark figure, half the bar, more than half the bar. The further it goes, it's more common sense, right? If it was gapping here, we'd say, oh, it's not really a big deal after a big bar like that. If it was gapping above today's high, we'd say, wow, that's impressive after a bar like that. That's bullish. And so, Dan and I are always saying, no indicators. What I need indicators for? If I've got common sense, a method with common sense, I don't need indicators. And the indicators is going to kind of make you think about the hocus pocus kind of stuff. It's a rabbit hole, black hole. All right. So a little bit above the 50% mark. All right. So SPX here. These were the open interests, big open interests. And it got up there on Friday. And so this was our top strike Friday, which it just missed. And so it got through that open interest. And then, well, here was the resistance, right? You got to look to the left. Again, more common sense. You don't need no Ichikumi clouds and all that fancy stuff. Just look to the left. A bunch of rejections up there. Odds are there's going to be sellers, and then see what the reaction is. I'm not a charitable person. Support some indicator designers. Well, you know what? I know you're joking with me, but look, I know most of these people probably, and I think I said this in the room, or I said it somewhere. I've said it quite a few times over the years. Um, some of them probably believe in their indicators, but look, human nature says, what's the definition of crazy? Doing the same thing over and over again and having the same expectations and it's not working. Well, look, how many times can you draw a trend line, see it break the trend line, and then resume the trend and not think that something is wrong with your method? Or see if you're an Ichikumi cloud, which is something relatively new from when I started, see it violate the crowd and cloud and come roaring back again. So here's my uh, comparison to the indicator designers. They're essentially like a used car salesman. Some used car salesmen are good, right? They check out the cars, they make sure that they're mechanically sound, and they sell a good product. Well, unfortunately, there's no good indicators, but there are used car salesmen that are bad people, right? They put some crap in the engine so the head gaskets don't leak for a while, or something in the transmission, and they sell garbage. And they probably, on some level, because they're human, they feel bad about what they're doing. Some people are just fucking evil. Excuse my language. I get passionate about this, but look, that's how they put food on the table. So the indicator salesman designer, he knows what he's selling. I think most of them over time, they know that they're selling garbage, but putting food on the table. Anyway, that's my mind about that. There's any huge open interest here, and it usually comes in the latter part of the week where the open interest starts growing, where the big bets start. So here's one relatively big, and 20 cents. Somebody's there looking for, you know, a home run. That's going to go to 5,900, and if it does today, they're going to make a killing. Well, most likely they're going to lose all their money, but that's the attraction of cheap options to people that maybe don't necessarily know what they're doing. 5,900 today, I think they're going to lose all their money anyway. So let's see here. What's a reasonable strike? 58.80. We could go, say, 20 wide, and it won't hit it today. And for those of you that don't know, these strikes that we give on a day-to-day basis rarely get hit. 57.80. So they've come up a little bit from Friday. And so technically, this is gapping up here. That's why we look at SPY. It's gapping up here. It's in the middle of the range. And is it likely to go one way or another? What are the influences today that are coming out? Are there any economic reports coming out today? If something was going to report earnings, it's already out. How is that influencing the markets right now? No, markets aren't being influenced very much. As we speak, they're gapping up a little bit, but that could be just a little technical, pop up because this was down and just continuing the middle of the trading range. We got resistance up here. So our top strike is right up at resistance. Our bottom strike is down on support. So we've got those, lines of defense, as I call them. So we'll see which way things go in the first few minutes. Bitcoin's up a couple of $1,000. Looks maybe it's going to break out. It's up at resistance, but it's been a pretty sloppy grind, but wide range bars. And, you know, I've never traded Bitcoin. I don't buy Bitcoin, but there's plenty of stocks that trade with it. So we review it day to day. Uh, Gold looks amazing. I mean, what a bullish trend. Looks like it's going to continue to go higher. Red bar ignored. Fantastic. Silver. Jay Richardson said, amen, Greg. I've kissed too many frogs in this business. Absolutely, man. Some of them are good talkers, no doubt. They get the gift, the golden tongue, but you kiss that thing. Anyway, silver. Whipping around. It's the bottom of the range here. Looks like maybe it's trying to make a bottom. Just too messy, uncertainty. Oil, oof. Was trying. It's at the bottom of the range. And so we're not shorting that. It's at the bottom of the range here. We'll see what happens. If it can hold XLE, the broadest ETF, not not pretty. I don't know why anybody would buy it, but not pretty at all. All right. So tech is gapping up. I don't see anything. Dan will see whatever stocks of interest they may have. But as far as the markets go, today's gap up is just a lot of running in place so far. And we'll see how this unfolds. That's not bouncing. I hear about the consumer saving the day. I'm like, Dan pointed out the cruise lines today. And I mentioned last week, some neighbor I was talking to says, you can't even get a room on a cruise line. And I said to Dan, how much has the credit card debt gone up? Because when you hear that credit card debt was like $1.1 trillion, highest in history, and you can't get a room on a cruise, I was curious, is the credit card debt continuing to go up? So anyway, we got 9 days to maybe a new life in this country or the beginning of the end of this country. All yours, Dan.
Good morning. Yeah, it's 8 days away. Week from tomorrow. I'll be happy when it's done. I don't have many alarms going off. We actually, in our weekend letter, we had, I would say was equally balanced, long, short, or actually more short oriented. So with the market gap up today, I'm totally fine with that because I don't have a single one gapping below under the entry. So that's good. So that means they're only going to hit if they're good. Let's see, this was earnings. Let me go through other gappers first here. CGC, a little marijuana stock I've been watching for a while. I'm short the 5 and 4.5 puts. Looks good. We're in Sandal. Had a nice run on Friday, backed off. It's opening flat. Below, with oil being down, we are short below. Looks good. Let me put that in the window. I actually had MPC on my list also as a bear 123, and that's getting hit even harder. Breakdown daily, weekly, monthly. LAC alarm. We have long calls on this. And then this was a fantastic ad over here. This is one of these lithium things that kind of runs a little bit with the nuclear theme. So I'll be tightening the stop on that. in the hive, we are long stuck. This is a digital kind of a bull rectangle here, breakout daily, weekly, monthly. Now let's go to earnings here, not too many. Oh, well, here, let me show you these. Greg, you mentioned the market's gap is not impressive. I think Qs are impressive. You know, they were strong Friday until they gave it up. And
Well, what I said was they were gapping within ranges. So I did mention the Qs were the best, but overall, at resistance, and we'll see what they do.
yeah, I mean, there's three fangs here that look great, but they have earnings this week. But that doesn't mean you can't do a day trade. Look
Of
at
course.
look at Meta here. I mean, that was a call spread idea. And now we're not in it, but now looks great. Earnings on Wednesday. Google, I would have put this in the weekend letter, but for earnings, earnings tomorrow. This the technical would be an anticipated breakout. Um, Look at Tesla on this earnings gap. I was looking for a put spread. That's a bull island reversal, very little retracement. And some people say, "Oh, all gaps get filled." Well, it's an incorrect statement. I mean, that's a big gap that's holding incredibly well. And Microsoft's another one here, sloppier. The gap, this could be a 30-minute high day trade. Gap into Friday's high. If it chops around and stays ideally you know, over, here, high 430s. If it can chop around and stay above that, 30-minute high. I like it. Good. Yeah, yeah, that's on my list. Yeah, I would have put that in the letter, but again, 10:30. Fact check. Yeah, the breakout. That's that's just a breakout. Looks good. All right, earnings here. FMX, you know, railroad track downtrend. It's a gap breakdown. Gap's not excessive. This is a fantastic 5, 10, 15 minute short, bearish weekly, monthly. So that looks great for a day trade and swing short. So I got it in the bottom right. Let's see what it does. Oh, and I myself did a condor. I shorted the $80 $2 wide call spread and the 62 put spread. So even opening up here at 68, I still have $6 of comfort. So I'll wait 5 minutes and look to close out just the put spread. I don't even feel like paying. Well, maybe I'll buy a call at a penny to get a free call option. PHG, that is a nasty gap. Topping pattern. This is an ADR. Wow. Wow. How many months have gone by that that is a nasty gap. Oh, I mean, that's like almost news of embezzlement type of gap. It's so bad. I'm going to put that on a window and see what it does. Seeing, well, not embezzlement, but cooking the books. The CNP Bullish gap, maybe 30-minute high. PRCT 83, bullish gap. That's too big for me. Mm, 2480 bearish gap, maybe 30-minute low day trade. BOH is a regional bank, Bank of Hawaii. I see one print up here. AKR will come back. Yeah, there's no prints here. I don't like the way this trades anyway, but I'll come back to it. Hope. I don't see any prints. I just had NEXT alarm go off. This is a little 1, 2, 3. So I'll put that here. Looks good. 5-minute high. Tell them that. All right. A couple other things here I had in the news. Yeah, I saw these cruise ships going by. The ticker, not my window. This is a bull flag. It's bullish weekly, bullish monthly. Target, high 24s. Let's watch that on a pullback. I like NCLH also. RCL has been the leader. It's a buy setup, but the problem is this one has earnings this week. Otherwise, I like this pattern better for a new trade. Has a bigger target. But I'll watch it on a pullback. Maybe we do a swing into earnings. LSCC, my $55 up alarm went off, but now it's coming in. We bought this on Friday. Really? Okay, thanks. But still, I mean, man, oh man, you'd think the markets are smarter than that about, they got the saying about markets are all knowing, they're always efficient and pricing in all available information. So it's kind of interesting that that one's so far off. Wow, this is a big gap. I saw it gapping around 12 this morning, which, that'd be a pro gap. But look at that. It just ran again from 12 to 20. Man, that's big. Paul, I had up alarm. We're in this. We sold a third on the gap up with the stop is Thursday's low. Um, you know, I'm trailing it. Moss alarm just went off. I like this for a put spread idea. Selling the 26s, a little gap breakout there. Sienna had a downgrade. That's a wide range breakdown bar. You can watch that on a bounce to short. CDW downgrade. I see trading at 215, but it has earnings in 2 days, but maybe day trade. And Boeing hitting the capital market, trying to raise some money. We knew that was coming with the strike. Yeah, USO oil is down with the retaliation against Iran not being as bad as they thought. 1031 Gaiden breakout, bullish weekly monthly. Sam, I think that's your list. And LKQ, Sam, I liked. So those are the two I wrote down from your list. So now I see it gapping up a little, which I like. So I will set an alarm at 3750 LKQ. Yeah, so now, yeah, I love this pattern. Ideally, it chops around for at least 30 minutes and then takes out 30-minute low or Friday's low, really. Brothers alarm. Um, I guess I had an early alarm. Um, saying this might be yours, but another possible 30-minute high. Casey alarm that's triggering. Little gap breakout, red bar ignored. SMH is down. I saw it up over $2 pre-market. So that's not good with the Q's up so much. I wonder what's dragging it. Nvidia's up. Let's see.
On semiconductor, gap down pretty big.
Yeah, that's an earnings one, right? I'm aware of that through earnings.
Taiwan gapped under Friday's low was a green bar. A lot of them gapped down under green bars. Micron gapped down, but it's not a green bar.
All right, yeah. Yeah, those are all big ones. Nvidia gapped up, but it's coming in here. All right, this cream is a problem child. We had a call spread, but we said let's wait a few minutes here, particularly with the Qs coming in. Yeah, no, Google looked great, but well, gap's too big now. IYT up alarm. There's a buy setup, Greg, with a three
Yeah,
bar.
no, no, I know. We covered the transports. This is, whatever 50 stocks versus the 20, but yeah.
Yeah, made the turn. All right, checkpoint alarm, but there was no zero juice for a put spread, and I don't know about the target. Like GCOS up alarm. Nah, these are just alarms. Tick is 1100. So I guess that's with IWM rallying. That's that's another buy setup with a 180. If it
SCRV, it's a
so,
bottoming one.
yeah. Yeah, we actually had a naked put on that last week. All right, this next. Okay, so next did not gap over the entry. So I'll just reset the alarm. Florida up alarm. Florida, big old W pattern here. I gave long calls. Give it to you all. Let's make sure the premium and the spreads. So 23 and a half calls. $1.20 by $1.35. So we're only going to get billed if we get billed on the bid. PFGC. It's up 3 bars at resistance with a toppy weekly. All right, below here. low, we're in at 130, 146. Moss, I gave naked puts. Let's see if we're getting the premium. Uh, Moss, there you are. Oh, I got Phil on my ON put spread. I was bidding 15 cents. But yeah, let me email that to myself, Steve, and I'll look at it. When I slow down. Moss, 26 puts. Let's kill this thing. Moving stop to below and break even. Back to Moss. That FMX bottom right. It's whipping around. Twenty-six puts. 14 by 16. Oh, and I wanted 18. All right, so it's not filled yet. All right, it's FMX. Oh, it came in then, so it got filled. All right, cool. So it did pull in, so I didn't chase it. Yeah, FMX. I'll just reset the alarm now. Maybe 96.20. Ninety or 96.30. Well, ON came back to break even. Wow. So that that's a perfect condor. After after the gap move. Well, there was some guy also in Barron's I read. Um, he said, analyst, he said over the next 10 years, don't expect much from the market return greater than the inflation rate. KRE up alarm. Yeah, cool. Pretty quiet Monday so far for me. With not getting inundated with alarms. Yeah, yeah, they got, I just had a little up alarm, but there's nothing to do here.
Block looks great, Dan.
Eric, yeah, an ADR, but yeah, that was an earnings gap, I remember. Yeah, we're in block. Yep, that's great. Kind of a pseudo little bull rectangle. That looks great. Uh, yeah, yeah, pizza made the turn, sure. Yeah, chasing a little bit here, but you know where the stop is. The XPH alarm. Greg, we have a 1/3 lot of this is all. So if you want to do anything, FYI.
Early, let's wait a little bit, Dan, just to make sure a little more confidence that it'll look like this. I know it's taken out a red bar, but I'd never been a fan of anticipatory entries unless they were right on support, and that's not.
You started out the strongest, now they're the weakest. The horsemen. Yeah, I was hoping that would have closed an inside bar, but that would be a nice put spread now. 218s for Friday. Yeah, $3 wide is 50 cents. Yeah. Let's watch this on the next little pullback. Actually, I'm just gonna send an order for 65 cents on IWM. Wow, remember this little bidder when we were scanning on Friday? LTBR. That, that was a potent buy setup reversal. our lack. I think it's time to sell some. We have $2.50 calls.